first time seeing the house completely renovated, and I really like what they did with it. Just the way that they staged it. We don't normally stage our properties, but you know, when you're trying to sell a house for $1.8 million, you pretty much have to. But look at this kitchen. I absolutely love this kitchen, what they did with the design. I think that these light fixtures look really good. I love this matte black hood that they made. I think it ties in really well with all of these cabinets. I mean, like everything. They just did a really good job. This countertop really looks good, nice veining. And you know, the living room, everything just ties in really good. What's interesting is with this house originally, there was like a big wall right over here. Like this island wasn't here. If I remember correctly, there was like an opening right here where this fridge is, and that was how you got in the kitchen. And then along this wall was, you know, cabinets and all this stuff. You know, these were already here, not these cabinets, we obviously put these in new, but you know, the cabinets placement was there. And I wanna say there was like a nice island right here. So I think this new layout is way better, you know, just being all open, having a big giant island, and being able to actually walk in and see the golf course. So this is obviously one of the huge selling features of this house, is that it's on the golf course in a really prestigious community here in Las Vegas called Red Rock Country Club. And you know, being able to look on the course is great. We actually added these sliders in. So this was, you know, just a normal wall. The only way to get out was from the side door over there. And I really like that we spent the money to add these sliders. I mean, doing this is not cheap. I didn't see the bill for it, but my guess is it was over $10,000, probably $15,000 just to add all of this. But these are the type of things that luxury buyers are looking for, especially if they're gonna spend this kind of money on the house. So really love what we did as far as changing the functionality of the home. You know, I love the design, you know, the LVT flooring. You know, you guys, I'm such a huge proponent of using LTV. I think it's great for even just normal flips, and I think it's great for luxury flips. It's more durable, it looks really good, it's waterproof. Like there's so many positives to it, and people just, you know, overall, they really like the look of it. So in a house like this, we'll use a more expensive LVT, and in our entry-level flips, we'll just use kind of like the base level LTV. So I like it. I also like the sitting room. I know that we were thinking about getting rid of this wall, but you know, the more that we looked at it, the more we were like, you know what? This wall and this separation is actually kind of good. I know everyone wants open concept, and we did that over there pretty good, but I also think it's kind of good to have some kind of separation. And you know, if you got a formal dining area like this, I do think it's pretty cool just having it the way it is. Now, since we're over here, let's take a look at what we've got going on in the bedroom. So you got your first bedroom over here, which is your, you know, secondary bedroom. And you might be wondering, why is this not staged? Well, you know, when you're staging a house, the more furniture you put in it, the more it costs you. And quite frankly, putting a bed in here isn't gonna really like change anything. You know, people really wanna see the living room, they wanna see the kitchen, the dining, and the master. Like that pretty much is it. Secondary bedrooms like this, you're kind of wasting your money if you stage them. So, you know, we don't. And it still gives it a great effect. Now in here, we actually made the choice to keep what was already here. So this shower was already here. I'm not certain about this. My guess is this is new. It looks brand new, but I know for a fact that the shower was already here, and this countertop and these cabinets were already here. So instead of changing it out, all we did was paint these cabinets. These used to be like a brown that weren't really, you know, fitting in with these color schemes we picked. So all we did was simply, you know, paint them, and the kitchen looks like it's brand new, even though it was already there. Now, as we go into here, you can see We've got this sitting area, which is really cool. I think this was actually a smart thing to stage because it's kind of a weird transition, you know, having the bedroom here, and then you walk in here and you're like, oh, is this a bedroom again? And then, you know, over there's another bedroom. I think it's important to distinguish that, hey, this is just another private area. You can hang out here. It could also be an office if somebody wanted it to be. It could be like a little movie room. I just think it's nice to have another area outside of the main. Then as you go through that kind of loft style area, you've got the other secondary bedroom. These bathrooms were what they were. We painted the cabinets, we kept the countertop, we kept those tiles and everything in there. Like, they're in good shape. There's no reason to change them. Even when you're doing a house like this, you know, and you're doing this full renovation, it doesn't mean that you have to change absolutely everything. I think had we changed the bathrooms, it would have cost us a whole bunch of money, but it wouldn't have really brought much return. And who's to say that the person that's buying this would have thought any different from a bathroom we make versus what's already there. So we didn't change it. Now, as we're walking, we're starting to get to the master bedroom. Over here's a little laundry room, and you know, the master is one place where you do want to put some money into if you're gonna end up getting this sold for top dollar. So we ended up doing this cool little design wall. Our guys actually custom make these walls. They get the plywood, they make the designs, like they do a whole bunch of work to get this. You can't just go buy this at Home Depot, you have to custom make it. So I think they did a great job adding that piece. And as I said, you know, the master is worth staging because it's the master, unlike the secondary bedrooms. You know, over here, we've got this fireplace. Once again, this fireplace is hand built. Like this shiplap, they created on their own. They paint it. You know, we got the electric fireplace. You got your plug for your TV. You know, I think it turned out great. So pretty big master, good size. I also like, I forgot to mention, that you can walk out to the jacuzzi right there. So I think that's a big selling point. You know, you can even put some nice chairs right here if, you know, you want to go have some coffee right when you wake up. So I think having that and the slider in the main room are really cool, or in the living room, I should say. Now, as we go into the bathroom, this is interesting because once again, they already had a lot of this stuff. These cabinets are original, this countertop's original, this bathtub, all of that is original. And we said, you know what, like, this is already in great shape. You know, is this like a granite that I would pick? Probably not, but I don't think it's bad. You know, at the end of the day, it fits with the rest of the colors in the house. So we just worked around it. We kept the stone and we just painted these white. And, you know, I think it turned out great. What's interesting is many of these homes that you buy already have like such nice things. Take, for example, this closet, you know, this is a really big closet. And, you know, we could have the choice to get rid of it and put, you know, more stuff, but I think it's gonna look great once there's actually clothes in here hanging. I like the master. I think it's gonna be a great selling point for whoever buys this home. Let me show you the backyard because this is where we spent a bunch of our money and where we're getting a lot of the value. Now, I know that the kitchen and all that brings value, but when you're dealing with homes like this, you have to put a pool. I made the mistake on one of my very first luxury flips of not putting a pool because I said, you know what? People aren't gonna care. This is gonna be the cheapest house in the community and blah, blah, blah. And guess what? Nobody bought the flip. Even though it looked just like this, it was beautiful, nobody bought it because it didn't have a pool. And so I ended up having to keep that luxury flip, which actually turned out to be a good thing with how much the market has appreciated. I remember I was trying to sell it for $700,000 and nobody wanted it. That was luxury, you know, a few years ago. Well, fast forward today, I ended up putting a pool in it. I ended up renting it out for $6,000 a month. You know, I was all into it for maybe, you know, $650,000. So it was really good rent for what it was. And now it's worth over $1 million because the market's gone up so much and because we put the pool in and now it cash flows great and it's an amazing asset to own. So as we've done more and more luxury flips, I do not make the same mistake again. So we spent a good chunk of change and time building out this backyard. Originally, it looked kind of like this area over here. You know, they did a really nice job designing it, but there was no pool. And for us to get top dollar, we had to put this pool in. Now, I think this pool is great, but this lot's not very big. You know, most of these golf course lots have like the bare minimum size. So we had to create a pool that was gonna be both functional, but not take up the entire yard. I hate when I see these luxury homes on the golf courses literally do a whole pool across the whole lot. I think it looks stupid and it's not functional. So we went with more of a square pool that I think is great. I think you can hold parties in here. You still have that area to go just run around, and if you got dogs or kids, they got something they can go use. Along with that, you still have a lot of this area for seating. Over right where I came from, you can have like a nice outdoor table. And I like that they've got this sun deck and this raised up jacuzzi. I think it turned out great. As you can see, there's a lot of dirt in here because it's super windy outside. You could probably hear it on the audio too. But overall, I think it's great. You got a tee box right there, so you don't have to worry about getting a ball hit, because hopefully nobody should hit it this way, but some of the people that I've golfed with, I wouldn't put it past them. But I think overall, the backyard is great. I think it's gonna be a great selling point. Another cool thing is right here, you can actually go walk out onto the golf course. So I think that's really cool for somebody who wants to just go play a hole or something really quick. I would go do that. But I think it's great. One thing that sucks about golf courses and HOAs in general though, is you have to get everything on the exterior approved. So for us to get that pool done, you know, it would usually take, I don't know, a few months, call it 3 to 4 months. But we can't even start digging or doing anything until the HOA approves it. And guess what? The HOA only meets like once a month max. And so you gotta wait for them to meet, and then you gotta send them your plans, and then they gotta go vote on it, even though, like, why can they not, like, what are they gonna do? It's a pool. Of course they're gonna allow it, but we can't do anything until they approve it. They gotta approve the colors, they gotta approve all that. And in fact, with this exterior paint, that was one of the issues too. We wanted to repaint this, you know, a more modern color that went with the inside. Something maybe like white and like, you know, a grayish or a tan or something like that. And they denied all of our colors, and they said, hey, it's gotta be based on this palette. And the palette was pretty much like what this already was. And so it's like, why am I even gonna spend more money? Like, yeah, the paint's like a little faded, but it's not worth repainting it again to get the same look. So, you know, we kept the exterior paint the way it was. All right, so let's talk about the numbers on this house. We purchased it for $995,000. It was a deal actually my cousin brought me. My cousin's a realtor, and she had heard through the grapevine that this house was gonna be listed, and so she brought it to us, and they made the commission, they represented us, and you know, we were totally happy to buy it for that price. As far as the budget goes, we spent $165,000 on this house. I would say about 65,000 of that was on the exterior, maybe a little more, and then we spent about 100,000 inside the house. Now, this house is 2,700 square feet, so, you know, it's not that big of a house when you really think about luxury. So we spent around $40 a square foot. And if you remember, there's a lot of things we didn't even do. You know, the bathrooms we kind of kept the way they were. The exterior of the house we didn't paint. So 40 bucks a square foot is not something that I would anticipate for a luxury flip of this caliber. Usually we'd be around 60 bucks a foot, but because we were able to keep so many things, we kept the cost lower. Now, as far as our other costs go, between the hard money loan, the insurance, the taxes, and all that stuff, we're spending around $10,000 a month, and this is gonna take about 9 months to go from start to finish. It took a while to get it renovated, and I anticipate it taking a little bit to sell. So we got around $90,000 in holding cost and money cost. Along with that, we're gonna have to pay the realtors probably around $50,000, and then we'll have around $30,000 in closing costs. So that puts us all in for around $1,330,000. Now, when we first bought this house, we had the ARV, which is the after repair value, at $1.5 million. And so if everything went according to plan, we'd make $170,000 in net profit. Now, the market from 8-9 months ago has completely changed today. Right now, this house should sell for a minimum of 1.6, but we're actually gonna list it for 1.8 million because there's really nothing else like it on the market, and all these luxury buyers have been pushing the market up and up because they really have no other choices. So if we're able to hit our number and get 1.8 million, we'll make $470,000 on this flip. Now that'd be absolutely crazy. I don't know if we're gonna get the 1.8, but I can tell you, we're gonna make at least $250,000 on this flip. So overall, it is gonna be a really good one for us. So this is gonna be a great flip, and if you wanna learn how you can flip houses just like this one, or even just entry-level homes, we actually teach that at my company, Future Flipper. If you go to futureflipper.com, you can apply for a free call with my team, and they'll help set you up and get started in your journey. We teach thousands of students all across the country. It's really cool. And along with that, this is actually just one of 10 luxury flips we've got going on here in Vegas. I'm actually on my way to go film a YouTube video on a second one, so make sure you're subscribed so that you can go see that one as well. I'll see you later.